Oh my gosh, here we go. Today we are having an amazing, amazing conversation. This is Fit Life with Chero, and it's a space where we get to learn how to optimize our best health, okay? So, with today's conversation, I have my amazing friend Yvonne. When you talk to your friends, you always share personal things sometimes. And I was talking to her and I'm like, I feel this way sometimes, or I'm off like this sometimes. And she said, have you ever tried the Mina cup? And I was like, the Mina cup. So Yvonne is amazing. She's not only my friend, but she's also wearing so many hats. She's a mom. She is an amazing sister because I love her relationship with her sister. She's an entrepreneur. She is a philanthropist. She's a musician. She like does it all, the jack of all trades. But with no further ado, I'm gonna let her come in here and tell you all the amazing things you can learn and you can get to find out about the Mina Cup. Let's hear from the expert herself, Miss Yvonne Darcq. Hey, girl.
Hello, what's up? What's up? How are you doing?
Great. Oh my God, it's so good to have you here. I know we've had like such lengthy conversations together, but I'm just like, you know what? The world needs to hear about the Mina Cup and how amazing it has transformed your life and so many women's lives, so many young girls' lives, and it's just
Mhm.
doing wonders. I will tell you for sure, for me, I have tried it, and oh my God, we're gonna get to that later. For now, let's hear from you, Yvonne. Holla at the folks listening, darling.
Hi, everyone. How are you? My name is Yvonne Darcq. I am a singer-songwriter, performing artist. I am a mentor. I am a philanthropist, an activist, among so many other things. I'm a multifaceted woman. And today we are here to speak about the MENA menstrual cup. Yes.
Yes, yes, the Mina menstrual cup. I have just been introduced to the Mina menstrual cup last month, and wow, I'm not going back, Yvonne. I'm not, I'm just like, where was the Mina cup all this time? So let's start. How long has this Mina cup been available? Because we haven't really seen it being marketed as much as we see the other products for your menstrual period, right?
So the cup itself was created in 1937 by a lady called Leona Chalmers. That's when the first cup was patented. But the Mina cup itself has been in existence for the past 7 years.
Okay.
Now, so you can only imagine since 1937, how long is that? It was
Yes.
created at the same time the tampon, the menstrual tampon was created. But the thing is this, because the tampon is it's a non-reusable product, it's a once-use product, it makes more financial sense to the pharmaceutical industry, right? So
Mm.
if you have a menstrual cup which is reusable for between the period of 5 to 10 years, you can only imagine that it's not going to make commercial sense financially to the menstrual industry, right? Those that are creating
Right.
menstrual products. So that is highlight number one. But the Mina Cup was indeed created 7 years ago in South Africa by the owner herself, which is Zakira. She is an amazing, brilliant woman, such amazing heart. And she created the menstrual cup with the notion and the slogan of period poverty must come to an end. She is on
Amazing.
a revenge mission to make sure that period poverty is completely finished.
Amazing. What would you say is the benefit of using the Mina cup versus using tampons or pads or other products that are out there?
So, first of all, the Mina cup is medical grade silicone, and silicone is actually made out of soil. Most people don't know that. So, of course, to obtain it to basically get to this point, it has to go through several processes, but it's actually made out of soil. Now, apart from it being made out of soil, the Mina cup itself is hypoallergenic. The
Uh,
Mina cup is reusable, number one. Number two, like I said, it's made out of medical silicone, so it does not have any toxins or chemicals that are in it. So when you use it, you are not actually putting any form of chemical to harm your body. Now, where a pad doesn't get inserted, it's worn on your underwear.
Right.
But a pad actually is made out of a, I don't know about the pads abroad, but I know about the pads in Africa. And 90% of the pad is plastic. And the rest of the 10% is a mixture of very, 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 very little cotton. And the most of it is, like, for example, sand shavings that you get at the carpenters, for example.
Yeah.
The wood shavings, sorry, not sand shavings, wood shavings that you get at the carpenter.
After using the pad for 2-3 days, you can start to feel the irritation around.
Yes. So
Yeah.
the irritation is because of, one, the different materials. Another thing is the heat. Because it's not made out of cotton, even if it was cotton, there's too much heat that's being rendered in your underwear. Then the other thing is the chemical liquid that is put in. You see the color liquid, you see whether it's blue, orange, pink, yellow. That liquid is chemicalized. So when you put that onto your body, it goes into your pores. It goes into your
Exactly.
pores at where your thighs are, where your
Yes.
vagina sits.
Yes.
And so what happens is it gets absorbed through your pores and goes into your bloodstream.
And this
Whereas
is
a
how our
tampon,
hormones get affected, right?
yes, and where a tampon, it has to go through a processing of bleaching in order to get that white color. And remember, a lot of tampons don't even come white alone. They come with several different colors put around it to make it look cute and pretty. Those are all chemicals. So when you insert it, this goes directly into your bloodstream. Now, what ends up happening over time with those chemicals being absorbed either through your pores or directly into your bloodstream is you end up now going through a process of having larger clots, end up having fibroids, end up having large cysts, and could in the long run end up becoming an issue where you get cervical cancer.
Oh my goodness. That is not where we want to end up for sure, Yvonne. So this was the cup that I
Yeah,
practiced with,
yeah.
which is similar to the Mina cups, yes?
No, the Mina cup, as you can see, is quite different. Cups come in
Oh,
different shapes, sizes, designs. So you can see that one is quite different from this.
okay.
And the material is quite different because medical silicone can be softer, harder, it depends how it's been created. Now, where you can see this one's very easy. It can fold and it's very soft and it's very adjustable,
Mm-hmm. This
right?
one's a bit more
So where I
rigid, I
can see yours
think.
is a bit harder because
Uh-huh.
can you literally?
No, I
Yes,
can't.
that's a bit harder. Like this one, I can literally put it here. See? Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Uh-huh.
and you can see that the tail is also different.
The
So
tip.
that is a different type of cup, and it's what I would say, yeah, I would say it's a bit harder compared to this. So the beauty of the Mina cup is it's very flexible. So it even helps in terms of inserting because it's so flexible. It's easily applicable. Also at the same time, it's softer, so it
Yes.
feels you don't feel it.
Because I did notice that it comes with some lubricant and stuff. So I'm like, okay, why would we need the lubricant?
So with the Mina cup, um, as you can tell the texture, I think you can see it perfectly there, right?
Yes,
You can
yes.
see it's much thinner. You see it's much thinner, it's much lighter, whereas yours is a heavier texture of silicone. This is a very light texture of silicone. And
Okay.
you see the tail. The beauty of the tail is this. This is what I'm going to explain to you. We call it the GPS. So this is a locator, your GPS locator.
Okay.
So what happens with in terms of particularly the Mina cup is depending on your cervix, which is very important to note, which we're going to talk about right after this. This can either still be here or it can be chopped off,
So it
right? Can
can,
you see the lines?
right. I can
Can you
see
see
the
the lines?
lines. Yes.
Right? So you chop it off depending on the levels because everyone's cervix, now bringing me to the topic of cervix, everybody's cervix is different. Now with the Mina cup, we normally have a manual that comes with it, full explanatory, as you can see, how to wear it, the folds, it gives you 4 folds out of 16 different folds.
Oh, 16
And
different
then, yeah,
folds.
there's 16 different folds.
this kind of thing.
Exactly,
Oh,
exactly, exactly. And
it's very
then,
flexible to go 16 ways for sure.
exactly. And then here it shows you how it sits and how it should sit inside. And as you can see, your cervix, from the entry of your vagina to your cervix, people think cervixes are normally straight up, but they actually curve. Most people don't think of that because most people don't talk about the menstrual cycle or what the vagina is or what it looks like. It seems a lot like a taboo, and especially here when we're going around explaining it, people are in shock because generally, even with people who have a lot of information
But
worldwide, don't
yes.
get this opportunity to know so much because the medical industry does not inform us much about menstruation or the woman's body in general. Here you get to know what your cervix is like. Can you see it?
Wow, that I definitely didn't get all
So
that
you have to,
information with my cup. Uh-huh.
yes. Same thing with my previous cup that I ordered years ago. In fact, right at the time MINA started making its cups is when I first got my first cup, and I did not know about MINA. But I got a cup and it didn't have much information. And back then we didn't also have YouTube like we do now. So if you look at your cervix, you either have a low cervix, a medium cervix, a high cervix, or a very high cervix. Okay. Now, how do you know that? You take your fingers, okay? Here, if you're able to only insert it into this part, you have a low cervix.
Uh-huh.
Here, this first line of your fingers.
Yes.
If you go to the second line of your fingers, then it means you have a medium cervix. If it's in between, then you have a medium low cervix. If you go here, it means you're a high cervix. If it can seem like it can go higher, then you have a high cervix. So someone like me, for example, has a low cervix. So I normally cut all the way till this last line, which is here. Okay. When you're not on your menses, your cervix goes higher up, but when you're on your menstruation, your cervix lowers down.
Okay.
And so when it lowers down, this literally sits at the entrance. So when I have the tail irritates me because I can feel this in between my thighs. It's not a pain, it's an irritation, but it's
Wow.
annoying,
Okay.
right? And no one likes being uncomfortable or
Yes, you don't want
uneasy
to
when
be
they're on their
uncomfortable.
period. So there are people who have a medium cervix, and this is fine even with the GPS locator. But most of the time, what would end up happening is I advise people put it on, whether you're on your menstruation or not. The moment you get it, put it on so you can understand. First of all, you learn more about your body because most people don't know what level their cervix is. Okay, so you will first learn more about your cervix by inserting your fingers. Of course, as we always say, like during the times of COVID, wash your hands the right way. Make sure your fingernails are clean because the cup can never ever give you an infection. You will get an infection from dirty fingers or your nail beds. So always make sure that your nails are super clean for the incision.
Okay.
I mean the insertion.
Insertion. And
Not incision, insertion. For inserting it.
Inserting it. So to insert it,
Yeah.
that's another thing we need to know. Because I noticed also there's these holes over here. What are the holes for? Because you have the holes too.
So the holes act as a suction cup. So I mean, there's suction holes to help the cup sit in. So for example, I'll show you the three folds, okay, that I prefer to use. But we normally say for girls who are still virgins, we normally tell them to do the push down. So what happens is you see here, you end up doing that,
Punch
and
it down.
then you end up holding it like this. See? So when I punched it down, okay, so I've punched it down and then, yes, perfect. So it sits like that. And because this is easier to go into the hole because they're tighter.
They're smaller, right? Okay.
Yes, and they're also more sensitive.
Sensitive, yeah.
Yes. This one is a 10 ml cup. There's a bigger one, which is a 15 ml. And the difference is light flow, heavier flow. That's all.
Not the wideness
so we also
of.
tend to tell No. It's about the heavier flow. A lot of women who end up giving birth tend to have a wider flow, so we advise the bigger cup. But then it depends also with the woman knowing her flow.
There are women who just flow light even after they have childbirth.
Or
So
sometimes the
my flow
flow
is
is
always heavy. So I
heavier
use,
on one day than it is on the other
yes,
day. So you can use the
yeah,
heavier flow one on the heavy days and switch to the
precisely.
lighter flow. Okay. Thank you.
Precisely. I use both cups. I use this on the beginning, and then the other one, I use it for my day 2, 3, and 4. So punch down. Okay, so we said it's like that. So it's easier to put in. See, it's easier to put in, and then it's supposed to pop, right? Okay,
Once
so
you
this
put it
means
in,
it's supposed to pop. If it doesn't pop, you'll leak. Yeah, to pop. So what I normally tell guys is once it's popped, you put your fingers here, make sure you rotate it, okay? And then it will go up. Now, people who have a high cervix, it will go up. And so why you need the GPS locator is for people who have a higher cervix to be able to use it to bring the cup down. Yes,
yes.
then there's the C-fold. So the C-fold, what I normally do is I hold the middle and then you just have it like that.
Uh-huh.
See? So I just pushed in the middle like that, and then
Yes.
that's the C-fold. So
Okay.
again, you put it in, pop, okay?
Uh-huh. Got it.
Then we have the 7-fold again. So the 7-fold, you hold it here like this. So if I was to do it this, okay, fold it over down, and then it makes a 7. So
Aha.
again,
Okay.
put it in,
Insert
pop,
and it.
okay? So I think you can already see that the texture of this cup and your cup is much
I'm
different
struggling, girl. I'm
from the
like,
folds that we're doing.
yeah, it's very different for sure. Now I understand the difference. Okay, I'm waiting for my Mina cup. You also mentioned that this actually affects your pH. Like there's a way it makes sure that it doesn't affect your pH, basically.
Yes, so what it does is it neutralizes your pH level. It
Wow.
regulates your pH level because it's hypoallergenic and there's no chemicals. So it doesn't interfere with it.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
I love that.
You can wear a cup up to 12 hours, meaning in a day, you can only change it twice if you feel like it. Or you can change it more depending on your flow.
And one thing I noticed, I was telling you, I was so shocked. It's like, oh, I actually don't bleed that much. Like I used, from when you're changing your pads and your tampons, you think that the blood is like a lot of blood. But from collecting in the cup, I would be nervous because I'm like, no way I can keep this thing in for 12 hours, and I'll go and change it ahead of time just to like be sure like it's not like overflowing. It's not going to overflow. But I'll be like, oh, it's just a little bit of blood. So that's really interesting. You can actually wear this for 12 hours. I went to the gym with it. I was sleeping. I went running. You don't feel anything, like zero.
Anything
I even like forgot
at all.
I was on my period because for some reason I feel like I didn't have cramps. I wasn't like moody. Like I wasn't like having my period moments, So how is that possible? How?
So first of all, like you said, you can wear this on your menstruation up to 12 hours a day. And again, the miracle out of all of this is when you bring it out, you realize you're not bleeding as much as you would think.
No.
Because with a pad, for example, when you do bleed, because of the liquids and the chemicals, it spills all over the pad, and the liquid in the pad and the gel collects it, and it just seems like a lot, but it actually isn't. Right?
Yes.
And also depending if you have clots or not. On the pad, it would generate more visually because if you have clots, you tend to seem like you're bleeding more.
Okay.
So the good thing about, like you said, when you wear the cup, of course you can sleep in it. A lot of questions I get is, can I sleep in it? This is the solution to having a period anywhere and being able to wear the cup anywhere without having to think or stress. I need to change my pad. It's full. I need to find a bathroom, blah, 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 blah. I can go to the gym. I can go swimming. I can keep up with my natural normal routine. I don't have to hibernate for a week or more, right? So now what happens with the cup, as you stated? You can go swimming, you can work out with it, as long as you know how to use it. Now, you see, what happens is the first month, majority of people always get the cup right because it's exciting, it's new.
Yes.
You're not stressed. So you end up putting it in and it sits right. And you're like, wow, this is a miracle. Then you go to month 2 and it might leak. And if it leaks, it's because when you do have your periods, your cervix lowers itself. There is a marble kind of small ball kind of thing that's inside, right? And so when that lowers itself and you put in the cup, and I find mostly for people who have lower cervixes, it doesn't pop out properly because it would probably touch the wall or it would touch the ball. So what would end up happening is if you've inserted it, let's just say I'm using the C fold, I've put it in, okay? It's open, but it hasn't opened fully. It's open like that because something's interfering here. You'll end up leaking a bit. It will make you feel like it's a lot. You'll feel uncomfortable because you feel wet, but it's actually not a lot. And so what would end up happening is because this is interfering, it's leaking.
It's a good
My
idea to
tactic-
use like a liner or something.
No. So here's the thing. I have to show you a tactic that works for me. And I learned this during the 3 months, but because what we normally say is after 3 months, you become an expert at wearing the cup because you've learned your cervix, you've learned your body, like you've learned the movement, you've learned how to put it in, you've understood yourself, you've learned your period window, you've learned which days are heavier than the other, you've learned on the heavy days what time to change it and stuff like that. Okay. So what ends up happening is when you put it in and it's like that, what I normally do is because it's at the entrance, in case it's gone higher up, what I do is apply pressure, push it down. Okay. When it's here, spin it. Put your fingers a bit inside and make sure it's open properly. Here, see? So let's say this is your opening of your vagina, okay? So it's sitting there, okay? So let's attempt to make it a bit tighter, okay? Let's do it like that, okay? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist it, okay? Now, because of the blood acts as a lubricant, okay? Because this is so soft. The cup itself for the MINA brand is so soft. So you literally just twist it. And then what I normally do is once I'm comfortable, I just stand up and it goes up on its own. In case I leak, because your body has its own different vibes. Sometimes you might move and you might put it out of place. You don't know. So what I would do again is go to the bathroom, apply pressure, as if you're doing number 2, but you're not. Just apply that pressure. That's what I'm talking about.
Because like you said, it has the hole, so it's suctioned in there. So you kind of have to
so
suction it.
Even if you go do number 2, that's the other thing. Even if you go do number 2, for example, in a pit latrine, it will not fall out. Even in the bathroom, in the toilet, it will not. Even if you're taking a shower and you want to test yourself, I mean, apply all the pressure you want in the world. It's not like giving birth. It will not come out because there's a hold. It's suctioned. Okay. So, and when you do get up, so what I normally do is after I've applied the pressure, I just get up and it goes up. Now, for somebody who needs a GPS locator because they have a high cervix, so when you apply the pressure, it will lower itself. Okay. You've applied the pressure, it will lower itself. Then you put your fingers in just to locate it, and then you bring it down. Now, when you get to the entry point, you put your fingers here. When you do this, it will pop out, the suction holes will pop off. Then now you remove it. And of course, it's going to be smoother than now because my fingers are not wet, but your blood acts as a lubricant. So it's there. Okay. So what ends up happening is you do this. So when you do that, it ends up doing that inside. So it's removed it from being suction, from holding
the suction is
point.
loose now.
Then you just boom,
pull it out, kind of sink into the toilet a little bit so that it kind of also slides out easier.
Because the uterus is like this, it's not like
curved, exactly.
I mean, the cervix,
the cervix is curved.
Like this. Yes, it's
so
not
when I
straight.
do this, I'm able to release it easier. And of course, you can just empty out everything. And at that point, you just rinse it out and you can use it again, right?
Yes. No, you can either rinse it out and put it back in, or you just dump off the blood and put it back in. Remember, your blood is not like normal blood. Even the smell. Period blood doesn't have a smell, whereas normal blood, you will feel an iron kind of smell. Okay? So it's just made out of endometrial tissue. That's the first thing we need to mentally challenge ourselves to say, it's my blood, it's not dirty.
I felt like it was a cleaner experience from my usual period. Like you're not, and then you forget about it because you're not seeing it. You're not constantly changing your tampon or your pad or whatever. So you're not seeing the blood. You're not constantly in it. Just once a day, if anything, and you're good to go.
So the benefits of the cup, collecting your blood naturally with over time, it cleans out your uterus and your bleeding from what was chemicalized to chemical free, because it is chemical free and it's hypoallergenic. So what ends up happening is all the things that have been pumped up with the chemicals, right? With time, as it cleanses itself, and I'm talking about maybe one or maybe 2 periods, you will see the difference. You even told me you already seen the difference from wearing the cup the first time. And so what ends up happening is your body just cleanses itself and adjusts to the foreign object that's being inserted to it. And so what ends up happening, one, you will find that your period window reduces. My periods, for the longest time, I've been a 7 period day bleeder or more. And so what ended up happening is it reduced my window to 4 to 5 days after 3 months.
You used to have really, really
Very,
painful
very,
cramps. Like
very.
we
It would
couldn't
take
really
me
hang
out.
out when you're on your period. It was like, oh my God, I'm on my
Yeah.
period. Like it changed
No,
everything.
I couldn't move from the bed. I couldn't move from the bed because one, I was over bleeding. And so it was a mess. So I'm like, why would I go attempting to have fun or enjoy my day and I'm going to mess and I have to wear all black, and I'm just not in that vibe or that mood, you know. I like to enjoy myself and have a good time, and just not being able to move or be even the fear of getting off a chair. I'm like, no, let me just deal with that at home, because I would overbleed to the point that when I wake up in the morning, every morning there's a disaster, you know. And we all know as women who wear pads, when you would wake up after hours of sleep or sitting for so long, you get up and there's a kind of
Yes.
situation, and everything just comes out like heavy because it was not going anywhere. Now, this is the thing, a pad blocks off your flow. So what ends up happening is everything ends up sitting there until you get up and start moving, then everything just drops. For example, when you go to the toilet and you remove your underwear, you'd pee, everything, you just hear everything going into the water, right? And the reason that is because a pad blocks off the passageway. So it collects, and then when it can no longer collect, even when it's collecting, it blocks off the passageway. So things are not dropping and coming out. Things are ending up being backlogged into your cervix and and into your uterus. Now that backlog is what creates cramps. I'm someone who has had cramps for years, and my cramps are so bad. I've had cramps my whole life. There's no medication that would help me because I became immune to even Buscopan Plus over the years. And so just a horrible experience, horrible experience. And so what ended up happening is when I wore this for the first time, I was like, whoa, this is miraculous. No, this can't be true. Day
Yes.
one, day
Me
two,
too.
day three. I'm like, no. This is not making sense. This is not making sense. So I was like, now I'm waiting for my second period because I have questions, where I'm the type of person who would dread, I loathed my periods. So of course, the second time I had a bit of leaking because I didn't pay attention to it popping properly, whatever, and I didn't understand. But then again, thanks to YouTube and the hotline that comes with the manual, you can text message any hour and you will get a response eventually from them. And so I got explained, and then again, Mina on YouTube has videos, and also
Okay.
now on my page on Instagram, I've put up videos so that people can understand how to wear the Mina and understand more about it. So from the benefits, all of a sudden, my window over time, over the 3 months, went to 4 to 5 days. I'm like, hold on, y'all are joking. Somebody's playing with me. No, this ain't true. Of course, I can feel the contractions because you're contracting to shred off the wall. So there's that discomfort, but I'm like, that's nothing. I can't even feel anything.
Amazing.
What's going on? This is a lie. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, my kids are like, Mom, we haven't, because I would normally tell them I'll die and come back after 7 days.
Ah.
You haven't had those moods of yours in the past 2 months. What's going on? I
Wow.
started laughing, and I'm like, come. And I sat them down, because they're boys. I sat them down and I'm like, let me explain to you guys this.
Yeah.
And then I need you guys to watch the videos to understand the benefits of MINA and what it does for the world and what it does for the female and what MINA stands for. So it was a good adventure with them to explain to them the whole story.
Yvonne, you do an amazing job with your philanthropy, where you're going around,
Thank
you're
you.
talking to these young girls, you're going to different schools, and you're
And
able
boys.
to, and boys, girls
Boys.
and boys. So when you go to these schools, you actually talk to everybody. You talk to the girls, you talk to
Yes.
the boys, you talk to the teachers, you talk to
Yes.
everybody. And I think this is so amazing. And I also love that for every MINA cup that one person purchases, you're able to donate
They
one to
get
the
one.
less
Yes.
fortunate, right?
Yes, that's the beauty of Zakira and the MINA Cup Foundation and what she said in place. She's like, we have to end period poverty. It costs 2,000 shillings. Calculate in your head how much you would purchase a pad,
Right.
a pack of pads or a pack
Over
of
and
tampons
over.
every month. And then depending on what your menstruation is, but most women who have a 28-day window bleed twice a month because obviously you're starting your new period as you're going into the next month. So give or take, you get around 2 rounds of periods a month. Okay, calculate that. For me, who was a heavy bleeder, I would literally go through 4 long, extra long packs of pads to the point I would even sometimes have to put 2. And if it was really bad, I would end up buying adult diapers because our pads in Africa are not like the ones in Europe, where the ones in Europe or America are extra long. So every time I would travel, I would make sure I would stock up. Emotionally, you're drained because you go
Yeah.
through
Yeah.
an emotional hard time. Then again, you're never happy,
Mentally.
even mentally, physically, emotionally,
Yes.
always disturbed, so you're just like, how do we come back to being normal? Why do I have to literally die once a month, then take 3 weeks of rebuilding myself just to fall back flat on my face again? Because the emotional self-sabotaging that goes on with every woman when they're on their periods, that especially those that, not like for me, who would have excruciating painful periods, just like you as well, Chero, where you're a heavy bleeder, you have very painful cramps, you don't know what to do. You're just like, I'm
Yeah.
done, I'm tired of this.
Now
And so
I didn't have to take any medication. You don't have to now put more
at
toxins
all.
in your body, having to take all this medicine to try and calm down. You're not
Exactly.
in a bad mood. Like I had my day, it was like a normal day. It was like the
Yep.
whole period, the whole 4 days was like I was not even on my period at all.
Do you agree with me that when you're not in cramps or whatever, you tend to even want to eat healthier because you're happy? You're like,
Yeah.
I'm on my period. I
Yes,
know
you
I
don't
have
want
my
to
cravings, but
binge on all
they're
those
not that
crazy
bad.
cravings that are
Yeah,
just
they're not
extra
that
calories
bad
for nothing.
because I'm not on a revenge basis with myself. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
self-sabotage myself. I'm not angry.
Oh my
So another
gosh.
thing, so if you calculate how much you do in the long run, calculate that times minimum 5 years,
Yeah.
but literally 10 and plus years. And because for me, I know through my experience, a cup can go up to 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we normally say 5 to 10 years because it depends how you store it, how you clean it, where
Okay.
you keep it, and how do you know when a cup has started spoiling? Here's now the next amazing thing about the cup. When you
Okay.
know that it's starting to shed, when you know the cup is spoiling, it starts to shed, or it starts to become gooey and kind of
Yeah.
slimeish or ashy. So what will end up happening then is what you do is you can either cut it up, okay, and throw it away, and it will not harm the earth wherever it's dumped out, or you can burn it and put it back into the ground because it's soil. Now, that saves the planet. Again, it has no toxins or chemicals, and it's made out of soil, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the benefit of that is now coming on to the next thing. Do you know that a pad takes about 800 years to disintegrate?
Wow.
A tampon takes about 500.
Oh my gosh.
And then with a pad or a tampon in the sea, it takes about 500 because of the salt and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
but guess what? We have fishes, we have turtles, and then the animals that we also eat and consume, we end up eating and consuming the chemicals and toxins from the pad
It's a
because
whole
your blood,
cycle,
your
Yvonne.
blood is not bad. The thing
Ah,
that's bad is the other products that were put in the
the
menstrual products.
products.
Wherever it is buried on the planet, you can't harvest anything there until 8 years, 800
Wow.
years from now. And as it is, the planet is already full with pads
Yeah.
and tampons. There's no more space. So
Okay.
that's why we're trying to turn everybody into this. This is a
Okay.
solution for everything.
I love this. This is a movement. The Mina Cup is a movement, everybody, and y'all
It is.
need to get on it. I want us to wrap it up and just give us
Yes.
anything that we have left out. I know we can talk for
Yes.
a long time about this.
Hours.
There's so much information to know. But now, if somebody wants more information, they still have questions. I'm sure somebody's out there
Yes.
taking notes right now as we're
Yes.
speaking.
It's www.minacup.com on Google, and it will show you the website for the Mina Cup. Okay. And currently we have 2 main hubs for the Mina Cup. There's one in South Africa, and now we have one in Kenya, in Nairobi. Everything is written down on Mina, the founder of Mina, which is Akira,
Yes.
and just any explanation about the Mina Cup and what they do in terms of also giving back to society via the cups that we donate to any menstruator in need.
Yes.
You'll find it at www.minacup.com. Remember
Amazing.
that Mina Cup also, the Mina Cup is on Instagram. You can also find them there. You'll find the details below. You'll also find my details as Yvonne Darcq
Yes.
on Instagram and on Facebook, Yvonne Darcq KE, below on TikTok, Yvonne Darcq KE, so that you'll get all the information on MINA Cup. I have several videos that teach you about the MINA Cup, that speak about the MINA Cup. So anything you want to find, you will find it either on the MINA Cup website or my social media platforms. Again, you can also DM me on the social media platforms if you need any advice or any information about the cup. And yeah, all I can just say to wrap it up is this is a life changer, guys. If it changed my life, and I'm talking, I have testimonies for days, and I also have testimonies for many people. And if a menstrual cup, for example, changed Chero's life, because we're here to send out the love of transformation,
Yes.
health, mentality, health-wise, emotional, spiritually.
We want to live our best lives. We want to live our best lives.
And for the longest time.
And for the longest time,
so
yes.
if a menstrual cup transformed Chero's life, and you feel that you're in a country around the world that you can't access a MINA cup, we always advocate for any form of cup, please, guys. As long as you want to change the world, your health, and also the environment, this is the way to change it. But by all means, come and go online and purchase a MINA cup. It will be sent to you. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. Just go to www.minacup.com. It will be sent to you. You can purchase it. It'll be delivered to you, because this cup, particularly, as I said in the beginning, it's very soft, very light. You can't even feel it. So if you want to purchase a MINA cup, come and get yours and get your life transformed. I think Chero says it.
Transform your life, baby. And I'm so thankful. I thank you in advance. I'm waiting for my MINA cup now that I've seen the difference, especially with the quality and everything. I cannot wait. Express, please. But kudos to you, Yvonne. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for teaching us all this life-changing information. Is just amazing. And thank you to Zakira and the MINA Cup Foundation and your team. Your whole team is just doing a really good job. We're here to support you any way that we can, and I'm really looking forward to just continuing to bring amazing things from Africa and to the world. This is so good. So thank you so much, Yvonne. I really appreciate it.
I want you to give us another testimony in 3-4 months now when you become a cup expert, and be able to tell guys your transformation. Maybe you can even do a video, a small journal video.
You got it.
What it's like to be on the cup journey and then on the MINA cup journey.
Oh, yes. I'm in the MINA Cup family. Thank you, Yvonne. You're so amazing.
Thank you, my darling.
Keep up the great work. Keep it up so much. And we'll get to talk soon.